Occasionally, the AAA industry spits out something that is actually fresh and interesting, and it usually comes from a studio that's buried behind the AAA umbrella, like EA's Respawn Entertainment or Bethesda's Arkane Studios. Arkane Studios has been making some interesting immersive sim games like Dishonored, Prey, and now Deathloop. I don't think I've ever finished one of their games. Usually 2 or 3/4 of the way through them I get bored or distracted with something else. But this one I decided to finish. And boy was that disappointing. Let's just say Deathloop is about the journey, not the destination. The premise. You are Colt, and you start the game being killed by Juliana. You get killed and wake up on a beach. Yeah, it's Groundhog Day. The same day over and over again, stuck in a loop. You want to break this loop by killing all the visionaries. Visionaries are kinda like leaders or whatever, doesn't matter. Bottom line, you want to kill them, and this is what the gameplay is all about. Finding the perfect way to kill them. This game is an immersive sim, a roguelite, and a first-person shooter. Let's start with the first-person shooter part. The shooting feels good, but the things you shoot at, the enemies, they're kinda bad. It's one enemy type, with the visionaries being like a more advanced version of that type. The AI for this one enemy type is also pretty bad. This island is exclusively populated by the dumbest people you could possibly find, with the rare instance of a smart move being made. Stealth is a part of this game, so what happens if you have a silenced weapon and shoot an enemy in the head? Well, sometimes enemies will run into cover to hide, but a lot of the time they go up to the body and stand there inspecting the body. Which of course is just a great opportunity for me to shoot them in the head too. But if they go to cover, they will eventually just start roaming around seemingly aimlessly, presenting another opportunity for me to kill them. If they were smart, they would stay in cover and actually look around, and they would see that yes, I am indeed in fact on the rooftop. Most encounters with enemies could be trivialized with this strategy. But what happens when you go loud or you get detected? Well, good news, because that can be trivialized too. By just finding a room with only one door, getting in that room, close the door, set up camp and wait for them to come in. And they will just keep coming in. Each of them thinking, surely it will be different when I do it. I guess the enemies here just have the mindset of modern day socialists. So you're most likely not going to have an engaging FPS experience here. You do have a decent variety of guns, all the standard stuff. Pistol, SMG, LMG-ish thing, shotguns, a rifle, and a sniper which you will never need. You will never really need the zoom on the sniper rifle. The normal rifle is more than good enough. I found the shooting to be enjoyable though. The bad AI is kinda balanced by you having pretty low health, so it doesn't take much to kill you, but I would still have liked to have smarter enemies. But climbing up on the bell tower with my rifle and turning the party guests into my practice range was pretty fun. Probably the most interesting combat encounter is when Juliana is hunting you. You can have an actual person take on the role of Juliana, so some PvP, but I didn't want that. I wanted to see how the AI is, and the AI for Juliana seems to be way smarter than any other enemy. She actively roams around the map and hunts you, and looks for you on rooftops and whatever other hidey holes you can find. She also has better accuracy and uses abilities like stealth to get a drop on you, and this basically steroid ability to survive a bullet barrage. Fighting Juliana is really the only time in the game where you are actually challenged, where you actually have to change up your strategy and be on high alert. I wish they would have spread some of her smartness over to everyone else to make this a more engaging experience. Where this game does shine though is the map design. There are many paths you can take in your assassinations, and I think the best example of that is when you want to assassinate Frank. His compound or mansion has some security thing where you have to nullify your slabs. Slabs are abilities like going invisible, rewinding when you die, or teleporting. There are more, but these are the only ones I used. So when your slabs get nullified, I think that when you die, you don't rewind. So this nullification can be pretty risky, but you can completely get around it by exploring the map. You can find at least 2 entrances to the compound that avoid the nullification, and I love that. It's a great reward for exploration. There are more moments like this of rewarding exploration, but let's not spoil too much. This is and isn't an open world game. You have 4 levels which are open world, but you can only go between them in a menu. And in that menu, you can select what I can only describe as missions. You select these missions and then what you need to do gets marked on the map for you. Which is convenient, but it isn't immersive. I personally think it would have been a far more engaging experience if what I needed to do wasn't marked on the map, but instead I would need to mark it on the map myself. And yeah, having a map would have been nice. You don't have a map, instead you can collect maps in the levels and then look at the pictures of the map in your clue inventory. Why are you being so obtuse with the map but then treat me like a baby by marking where everything important is? I can figure out where the visionaries are, but I can't figure out where the hell on the map I am. The map could be another way I engage with a game. And there is an element of that in the game, where I actually have to look at those map images to figure out where something is. And I just wish that would have been the way I figured out objectives instead of having a marker. I could go to a place and find what's there, and write notes on the map and read my mission log or whatever to see, oh yeah, the visionary Charlie is at that place in Updam. And find it on the map, and then I would have to go over there and look and listen for him. But no, instead baby gets a binky and he's marked on your screen. Lame. But there is some immersive sim stuff you can do, like hack turrets or hack stuff and sneak around and throw a bottle to distract enemies. Look, my immersive sim experience is pretty lacking. The last one I played was either Prey or Deus Ex Humankind Revolution. But I feel like I've seen a lot of the stuff you can do here in a lot of other places like Watch Dogs, Cyberpunk 2077, or even Far Cry. It just feels like Deathloop hasn't done enough to really earn that immersive sim label, other than you have slightly different ways of doing stuff. The immersive sim stuff is at its best with the exploration. I'll give a good example of this. Remember the bell tower party? Well, that is Alexis's party, and everyone has a mask, and I have to figure out which one Alexis is. I found 2 ways of doing that, but the one I executed on was that I had to go to his bathroom and look at the music he had made. And then I have to remember the combination and then go to the party mixing station and put that combination in there, and none of that had a marker. I just had to figure it out and do it. That was great. But even at the end of it, I still had to just kill him by shooting him, which just ends up in a shooting spree. So really, what is the difference between doing that music shit and just showing up and shooting everybody? It's the same end result, I just skip the extra steps. So even with this cool immersive stuff, it kinda falls flat at the end. The journey there is good, but the destination is disappointing. But there was one thing that did do a good journey and destination. It's this one place on the map you can completely miss, and I'm gonna avoid spoiling it, but there is basically no marker for anything with it, and it's pretty mysterious and you just have to figure it all out in your head. There are some notes for it in the game, but you have to actually just take notes for it in real life if you want to solve it. You have to listen to the radio at a specific time and then look at those map images to figure out where it's telling you to go. And then once you're there, you do the specific thing the radio said to do, and you get pretty good rewards from that, and it was just really cool. I would have liked the game just being that. So in short, I felt that the experience the game offers was held back by it being so guided in the wrong way. Having an interactive map like in every other game like I described earlier, instead of just having objective markers, would have been a great way to guide yourself instead of the game guiding you. One thing I like and also kinda don't like in Arkane games is that they randomize key codes. So if there is a safe in the game, the number to access it will always be random. So that way you can't just Google the key code, but then you also can't use your prior knowledge from another playthrough to help you out. I like that the game is kinda ungoogleable with that, but I think me being able to use my prior knowledge from another playthrough like that would be cool and really in keeping with the theme of this game. So the day starts over and over again, which means you lose your stuff. That's annoying. Well, good news everyone! Rogue-lite currency. You can use that to save guns, slabs, gun mods and these character upgrade things. I like that you can save weapons because needing to find them again every single day would get very tedious and boring very fast. And I have no real problem with the whole loadout section, except for the fact that I can't see what ammo type a gun would use. There are 3 main ammo types: small ammo, big ammo, shotgun ammo, and nails. I said 3 types, which means I'm excluding the nails because it's just for a silenced gun. And you can find the silenced SMG, so once you find that, you will never need the nails again. So I want to have 1 gun for each ammo type. And sure, I can just remember which gun uses which ammo, and I did remember that later, but why not just show me what ammo type the gun uses? But the roguelite currency is residuum, and you get that by either finding residuum items on the map, killing a visionary and draining their residuum, or sacrificing an item. And this is cool, I like that system, no problem with that. The character trinkets are also good because not only do they complement your playstyle, but they can also allow you to access places on the map you wouldn't otherwise be able to. Like this trinket that lets you ignore gas, and the double jump and teleport is great. You would have to pry that from my cold dead hands. Being able to teleport or jump up a building just makes going through the map way more fun. Overall, roguelite elements and loadout good. Story! Look, I'm just gonna say it. I hate time travel. Just anytime a fictional world has time travel, I feel like nothing really matters because hey, you can always go back in time and change stuff. So I just stop caring about anyone inside that story, since there really is no solid foundation of kinda finality in the story. So right off the bat with the premise, I don't care about anyone, and the game does nothing to try to change that. No real meaningful dialogue between the visionaries or you, except maybe Juliana, but not really. Throughout the game, I could probably find in total 5 minutes of interesting dialogue, and it will probably all be between Juliana and Colt. But I did like befriending the robot.
Master Charlie said the captain is fatal error.
Man, what are you doing?
It's not man. It's stupid.
Why are you taking orders from this guy? You're way smarter than he is.
Master Charlie is the most brilliant auteur of the century! End of line!
He's also a bully. You gotta stand up for yourself. Be tall. Pop him in the mouth. You know?
The captain references ambulatory functionality, but 2-bit does not have lyrics?
You don't need to be able to run in order to be strong, okay? You're loyal. That's the strongest quality a sentient being can have.
Captain defines 2-bit as user.
Sure, record that in your memory and don't dump it, no matter what he says. When all this is done, I'll see if I can make you more mobile. Hook you up to one of those snow trucks or something.
The captain is now qualified gunman to 2-bit. Stored to memory, never forgotten. Thank you.
Just going through the game, I felt like the story was just noise. There was no real presentation with it, just kinda dialogue you can observe or read, and most of it was just nonsense. Look, I'm gonna go into spoilers, but I will tell you that for the story, you shouldn't at all care about spoilers. Okay, the endings for this game. They might as well be replaced by a fart noise at the end, because that's what they felt like. I played this game for 19 hours, I break the loop, and the ending I got was basically, you broke the loop, congratulations. What happens to the visionaries? What is the outside world like? What happens to Colt? None of these get answered. The more satisfying ending is where you don't break the loop and become friends with Juliana. But even that feels incredibly unsatisfying because he's living the same day over and over again. Yeah, the story is just pretty bad and the endings suck. Conclusion. I did have fun with the game, but I probably wouldn't recommend it, especially not at $60, Jesus Christ. Even at $20, I would only recommend it if you have a lot of money to waste. Don't go out of your way to play this game. There is some good stuff here, but also some bad and a whole lot of mediocrity. The game is more fresh and interesting than a lot of its AAA family, but it still feels like taking a bowl from the same soup. Or something, I don't know. I give the game 6 unseasoned chicken breasts out of 10 glasses of room temperature water. Subscribe, call me Uncle Brian, and have a slightly above average day.